Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco, sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
Hi, I'm Rachel Khoo, and this beautiful northern city is now my new home. But I, along with most Swedes, often escape to the tranquility of a little cabin in the countryside.
Look at that! It's huge!
Bit of a mouthful, that, isn't it? My Wallenburger burgers. 2 waffles ready to go. It's not a pea soup without the mustard. A cake worthy of a celebration, I think. Cheers! Exploring Sweden and all the culinary delights it has to offer will be the source of inspiration in my Swedish kitchen. This is Hornstull in southern Stockholm, an area that has gone from being regarded as the outskirts of the city to hipster central with food trucks and street markets. Before the arrival of the food truck, Swedes got their fast food mainly from hot dog stands. Like the Brits who might have a kebab after a night out, the Swedes will head for a hot dog at their local stand, or grill in Swedish. Swedes love their hot dogs, and some even claim they existed here before their invention in Coney Island, New York. In Sweden, however, they use some strange combinations.
I will get a tunnbrödrulle.
Tunnbrödrulle.
With korv, grilled korv.
Grillad korv.
Yeah, and then I am not sure which topping I should have.
The best one for the tunnbrödsrulle,
Yeah.
it's this one. It's shrimp salad.
Okay, shrimp salad. Is that typically Swedish?
Yeah.
And then what's this one here?
That's Boston gurka.
With mayonnaise?
With mayonnaise, yeah.
Okay. I actually might go with the mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cucumber. Cool.
You want any drink?
No, that's great. Thank you very much. Tack så mycket.
For me, a rather unexpected ingredient pairing is to have prawn salad. Prawns and mayonnaise, topping a hot dog. Here at this old hot dog stand in Stockholm, they put their own spin on it, using Swedish flatbread, mashed potato, hot dog and a prawn salad.
Wow, that's one hot dog.
There you go.
Tack så mycket.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Turning a hot dog from a light snack into a meal with all the additional toppings has been done for years in Sweden. Chefs around the world have taken inspiration from street food like hot dogs, transforming them into fine dining versions with the use of luxury ingredients and restaurant cooking techniques. My smoked sausage potato cakes with prawn salad is inspired by the Swedes' love of hot dog with mashed potatoes and prawns, something rather unusual, but a bit like a Swedish surf and turf. Some hot water on the go, generous pinch of salt, peel my potatoes, add your potatoes to the boiling water and just cook them until they're tender. I've drained my cooked potatoes. I'm going to let them cool down before I use them. I've got some smoked sausage here. I'm going to grate that. I'm using good quality Frankfurter sausages, which are slightly smoked. I'm grating the sausage because it means it gets equally distributed through the potato cake. You get that smoky flavour throughout. And then discard the skins. Add the sausage to a bowl, some chives, a generous handful. The chives bring a freshness that cuts through the smoky and rich flavours of the potato cakes. Chives are a popular herb in Swedish cooking. Chives go in the bowl. Now to bind the potato cakes together, you'll need 1 egg. Some pepper. Give give it a little mix. So once your potatoes are cool enough, you can grate them. Add the potatoes to your bowl and mix everything together. Before I form my patties, I'm going to get a pan nice and hot. Add a little bit of oil, some butter, add a tasty flavour to your potato cakes, and then form your potato mix into 4 patties. You fry them on one side until you develop like a golden crust, flip it over and fry it on the other side. So you want a lovely golden brown crust. With my potato cakes, I'm gonna have a very simple prawn salad, just with some lemon zest, lemon juice, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Prawns go in, squeeze in a little lemon juice. You can start off with half and then add a little bit more if you need it. Bit of pepper, pinch of salt, toss that together. It's really just a light, fresh dressing. Delicious. Okay, I'm gonna just check here with the potato cakes. So you know when your potato cakes are done, and you've got a nice crust on both sides. You can tap it, feels a bit crunchy. Switch it off, and now you just need to plate it up. So I've got some baby gem lettuce, which I really love. Generous dollop of creme fraiche. It ties everything together, that cool creaminess. Your prawns, a sprig of dill. And then if you want to, you have a little bit of lemon zest left, and just grate a tiny bit on the top. And that's my Swedish surf and turf.
The Österlen region in southern Sweden is famous for its beautiful countryside and farmlands with many apple orchards. It is often called the Garden of Sweden for that very reason. Autumn is the busiest season here, with apple festivals and huge outdoor apple markets. Apple trees are probably as common as Swedish cinnamon buns. They pop up everywhere, on farms, in gardens, in the wild, and even in city dwellers' backyards. I especially love discovering the local Swedish varieties that don't make it to the supermarket. One of the best things about picking your own.
Oh. Sorry. When you have amazing produce like these Swedish apples, you have to make something mouth-watering with it, like my hazelnut and apple cakes. I'm going to toast some hazelnuts in a dry pan. You know when your hazelnuts are toasted, they have a lovely colour, but they also release a delicious aroma too. Put them in a bowl to cool down first. I'm just going to give the pan a quick wipe. I'm blitzing the hazelnuts so you get a powder. So it's a slightly coarse powder, it doesn't need to be super fine. Bit of texture is good. Now, one of the key things with this recipe is to brown your butter because it adds a caramelised flavour to the cake. Pop the butter in the pan. It's quite easy to know when you've browned your butter to the right colour because you can actually see the colour changing there. And also you can smell this light kind of hazelnut fragrance. This technique hails back from the days of making French pastries. They call it beurre noisette. Beurre noisette actually means hazelnut butter. Take it off the heat and add a tablespoon of honey and set that aside until it's cool. Now I need to whisk up some egg whites. You want to be super careful not to get any egg yolks in your bowl. Any traces of fat will stop the egg whites from whisking up. So generally, using a metal bowl or a glass bowl is best because they don't have any traces of fat. When you use a plastic bowl, it's really hard to get it super clean. And if you've made a dressing in that beforehand, it's a bit risky. So you want to froth up your egg whites before you add your sugar. The consistency you want for your egg whites is like a very soft peak. So you can see it's super floppy. Nothing too stiff. I'm gonna mix together my dry ingredients. I've got some plain flour, a little bit of ground vanilla, a pinch of baking powder, salt, and then the ground hazelnuts. Mix them together. You can really smell those toasted hazelnuts in there. And that flavour is just going to be emphasised by the burnt noisette. Fold in about half the mixture, just to loosen it up. Make sure you always fold all the way to the bottom. And now you can fold in the rest. It's key not to overbeat the mixture because you've obviously incorporated all that air with the egg whites. The last bit is to chop up an apple. I have a buttered bundt tin. Now, if you don't have a bundt tin, you could just use a muffin tin, that would work as well. Sprinkle some apples in the bottom. You just need to pop your batter in. They go in the oven at 200 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Yay! They are looking good. So I'm going to turn them out, put them on a cooling rack. Give them a little tap. They should come out really easy because I buttered them well. Yes, they did. Fantastic. Those apples smell delicious. If you want to add a finishing touch, give them a light dusting with icing sugar. The perfect cake for fika, or any time of the day, really.
The perfect cake to serve with a cup of coffee or tea. In southern Sweden, there are many family farms that have their own country farm shops. I'm on my way to a small sausage maker to find out more about their artisanal approach to making and smoking their own sausages.
Hello!
Hi, Rachel.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Collecting some wood for some
Yes.
smoking?
Can you help me with this?
Yeah, sure.
The owners Jonas and Sebastian left their previous jobs at an exclusive restaurant in Stockholm in order to make their own sausages.
And do you have a particular kind of wood?
Yeah, all in Swedish. It's a good wood because it works out with most kinds of meat and also vegetables and cheese and fish, so that's why we use it, because it's...
All-rounder. Fantastic.
The logs of the alder tree produce an aromatic smoke that has long been a favourite to give flavour to meat, seafood and even coffee.
In the UK, sausages sometimes have a bad reputation because people used to use all the rubbish kind of offcuts of meat. That here you're trying to do something a bit different, aren't you?
The meat is very important. We use only meat from pigs that go outside all year round.
And they're also Swedish, they're local in that sense?
They're local, they're from Skåne.
So is this your special blend?
It's inspired by German bratwurst.
What's particular about the bratwurst?
Cumin, it's a very important flavor to it, I would say.
Just let it slide off and...
And this is the skin, which is basically intestines.
Wanna try?
Oh, okay, all right. No, it's... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you twist the sausages in any
Yeah.
way?
So you take one hand there,
Yeah.
one hand there.
And then?
You just twist it the same way. Toward.
Okay. Like this?
Probably works.
Yeah? I've noticed when I first moved to Sweden that sausages pop up everywhere. Like at the corner shop, at the, you have all the hot dog stands.
Boiled sausage and bread is it's really our traditional street food.
Oh,
Oop.
I'm not sure I get a job here.
Jonas and Sebastian's passion for sausages is reflected by their use of high-quality local meat and avoiding preservatives and colorants like nitrate. They love to experiment with different types of sausages, such as the classic Frankfurter or the larger, fatter German Bratwurst-style sausage, which is flavoured with cumin and other spices.
I can hear some sizzling sausages.
Yes. Are you ready for a taste?
Yeah, I definitely am. Fantastic. So what we got here?
Wiener sausage, it's the thinner one.
Yeah.
And then the bratwurst we made, the thicker one.
So this is not like the wieners I've seen before. Usually they're that kind of bright orange colour.
Yeah, it's because they use nitrate in them, and we don't, so...
It tastes better than the ones I've eaten.
Nice to hear.
Lightly smoked, no?
Yeah.
Fantastic. They remind me of the wieners my grandma in Austria used to make when I was a kid. Good quality meat. Nice. So...
That's what we'd like to hear.
Yeah, brings back some childhood memories. And this is the bratwurst,
That's
isn't
the
it?
bratwurst.
The one you made.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to do a recipe. I'm going to do a Swedish stroganoff, and I think the wiener would go best for the recipe. So I'm going to take some wieners home.
The sausages were packed with flavour and a far cry from the simple hot dog on the street. These are delicious and perfect to use in my recipes.
Smoked sausage stroganoff is a classic Swedish comfort food that can be made up in a jiffy. You need to get a pot of boiling water on the go with plenty of salt. Really important to salt your water to cook your pasta. Traditionally, stroganoff isn't served with pasta. It's usually served with rice, but I like it with pasta. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up an onion. Onion chopped up. I'm going to add some butter to my pan, get the pan nice and hot. Pop the onions in. So I've got a smoked sausage here. You could use a Frankfurter. Well, these are kind of like Frankfurters, but smoked sausage works the best. So the Swedish stroganoff is nothing like the stroganoff I used to grow up with. So my mum used to make a beef stroganoff, the creamy sauce, mushrooms. This one has a creamy sauce, but there's tomato paste and paprika in it. So it's rather red in colour.
For a vegetarian version, replace the sausage with 350 grams of finely chopped aubergine and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika instead of plain paprika.
I'm going to check on the water. Yeah, great, it's boiling, so I can add my pasta. I'm using pappardelle, but you could use tagliatelle, even penne, or like I said, if you want the traditional version, serve it with rice. Once you've got a lovely caramelisation going on, you can add your other ingredients, which is going to be a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, tomato puree, some paprika, fabulous for the colour, add some single cream, plenty of black pepper. Now, if you find your pan is really hot and the sauce is drying out, switch it off at this point, and what we're going to do is add a bit of the pasta water to loosen it up. That's why it's very important to salt your water, because you're going to actually use some of that water. Also, it flavours the pasta. I'm going to add some capers. It's not what you normally do, but I really like that little zing, little pop you get. So these are quite big capers. I'm going to chop them up a little bit. Capers go in.
The starch from the pasta water will add a slight glossiness and sheen to the sauce.
Add your pasta to your pan and toss it together. You want the sauce to coat the pasta. I don't like putting sauce on pasta, like serving it like that. I think you should do it the way the Italians do it. It tastes much better. All that's left to do is to chop up some chives, a generous handful. Sprinkle the chives on, and that's my smoked sausage stroganoff.
It's often the humble ingredients that get overlooked, but I love the fact that in Sweden the modest sausage is celebrated in all forms, whether in a hot dog with lots of additional toppings or in a home-cooked dish. It's hard not to admire the way Swedish cuisine celebrates simple ingredients, whether it be a sausage or an apple, and turning them into delicious dishes.